dust of the veldt where the wind does moan. We've carved out a life in the soil and stone. They call us names, but we stand up tall. For faith and family, we've weathered it all. Raise the flag high, let the colors fly. With our hands we've built under God's own sky. No insult can break what's forged in our soul. Africa and her heart steadfast and whole. They say we're dogs, they say we're small, but we've built empires and answered the call. With the earth in our palms and the sun on our backs, we march to the rhythm of unbroken tracks. Through the storms and strife we hold the line. The roots run deep like the old oak spine. Pride in our spirit, love in our veins. The faith of our fathers forever remains. Raise the flag high, let the colors fly. With our hands we've built under God's own sky. No insult can break what's forged in our soul. Africa and her heart steadfast and whole. Through the years and miles we've walked this road, bearing the burdens, carrying the load. But the light of our fire, it will never fade. For the strength of our people will never be swayed.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. It's our weekly Refugee Kaffee Klatsch chat session here. All the stupid questions, feel free to ask them. If you get a PK in response, don't be offended. Welcome back. All the good questions, all the unique questions, of which there occasionally are some unique questions. We've been a busy day today, what with the press conference this morning from the Department of Defense, from the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff about last night's bombing raid on Iran's nuclear facilities. Then we had a live stream that went for over 2 hours with Ernst and Sonia, two South Africans in the first 59 group of refugees who are doing quite well. That was a fun broadcast. And then we just did an abbreviated news broadcast that went for about 45 minutes. And now we're back with Refugee Chat. I'm doing this every Sunday, as long as I'm available on Sundays, to answer people's questions as best I can. I think we answered a lot of questions, the earlier things, so we'll see how this goes. And disappointment for me. I called for crabs and I waited too long. They're out of crabs. So no steamed crabs tonight. I'm starving and no steamed crabs. I guess I'll have to eat my knuckles. Anyway, let's say hello here. So Chris Harris is here. Alts. Arctic is back. Ian Moon. Firefox 40 is back again. Crypto Noob. Ian, Julia. Anna Marie Nell is here. Hey, Wesley, speaking of Anna Marie Nell, Formula One, Kailema, what do you think? Should it be Cape Town or Kailema? I think it should be in Cape Town, Anna Marie Nell. I think the Formula One should be run in Cape Town, just to inconvenience the Cape Townians. Leona Meyer, Wesley DeClerc, Mr. and Miss Smith. Pepper says, have my morning coffee, so I'm ready. Morning coffee. Morning coffee. It's 2 p.m. here. You in Hawaii? Could still be morning in Hawaii. 225 here and only 35 likes. We got 110 likes, folks. Lunar Zeus, John Northnagel, Gus Straker, Chana, Chris Stander, Lynette Taylor, To Be Safe, GD Ungerer, I know Stefan Unger, great scrum half. Sandy, hi Colonel, do you have some space in your backyard for my RV? We'll be your cameraman. You can park on the street, don't mess up my lawn. Okay, let's pray this week holds calls and Candace is ready for the live. Garrett Van Jarsveld, welcome to you. Did you send me another email? Or not email, WhatsApp. This one gets me turning. Oh, you mean the song? My song, yeah, it's a pretty cool song. I got to write some more songs. I haven't done any more. Get back to the busy. Been so busy. Haven't got back to that. All right. Okay. Can one of the mods post that link to Joe Emilio's documentary, and then I'll pin it at the top so people can find it afterwards. My constant is Chris says medic. Okay, thank you. Leona Watley. Yeah, the likes do help the channel, the interaction. Hi to all the alphabet, the toolboxes, and Ernst and Sonia who are still here, and of course our Colonel Chris. Are Ernst and Sonia still here? I didn't see them in the chat. Okay. All due respect, Colonel Wyatt, he's been live for about the whole day. Now that's dedication. Oh, thank you, Lynette. I have. It's not the first time. For the election in 2020, I was live for over 9 hours. That was incredible. We had people call in, including Ronaldo called in for that stream. Yeah, so that was pretty amazing. And then thank you, Francois Dieger, for your membership. Appreciate it. By the way, I'm wearing this. I got this from Pick and Pay. Was it Pick and Pay? Pick and Pay clothing? Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is dirt cheap, too. 95, 2007, 2019, 2023, 2027. Yes, I got this, a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Go along with it, Pick and Pay. I looked all over, man. I finally found one. Where the heck did I finally find it? Because I first saw it in Cape Town in a place and it didn't have what I was looking for. I finally found a Pick and Pay clothing somewhere. It might have been in Santon. Yeah, I think it was in Santon. Pick and Pay clothing in Santon's Mall. And I got this stuff. And I'm like, nope, not hesitating. I'm buying it. Yep. To Be Safe says, we're also dedicated. Yeah, Antoinette. Sorry to make you cry. How will the Iran thing impact South? Well, it will not impact the refugee program, if that's your concern. Will it impact South? Yes, the ANC has run out of money. They won't be able to get funding from anywhere now. So now they're trying to take your taxpayer money to pay for the political party. That's the proposal now. And Enoch Gondwana has already said this is a good plan. Yeah, because there's no more money coming from Iran. Yes. Also, if Naledi Pandor opens her K-Cole, she's going to wind up getting smacked down by the U.S. or just ignored. People were getting calls from South Africa, cell numbers. USA are calling via cell. Yes, that's correct. The Amerikaners disclosed that to people. They said that you're getting phone numbers routed through, and there's a reason for that. So you can't call them back. They don't want to be called back and harassed by people because look at how people behave in my chat. Look at the nonsense I deal with in my chat from some people. Can you imagine multiplying that by 70 or 100,000 people calling the U.S. Embassy or calling the American PRM in D.C. all the time? Their switchboard would melt down. So that's why it's routed through a South African mobile number. So you can't reach them. They'll call you, not you call them. Yep. Okay. Good evening. Are we allowed to transfer a dog with you to America? Elizabeth de Jaeger. You have to pay for it, and it's pricey. There's a whole lot of things going on. There are efforts by a group to try to get rid of the costs and help people out, but it's very complicated. Your pets must be chipped. They must be vaccinated. They must go through an entire veterinary process in South Africa, and you can bring them over. So it's not cheap, though. I paid $5,800 US to take my cats from Maryland to Botswana because I had to go through South Africa. When I left Botswana, I drove across the border, went down to Pretoria East, dropped them off at the vet clinic. The vet kennel, not clinic, but the kennel, took my 2 cats, and then they shipped them over, and the cats came over when I flew. They were on the same plane. They arranged all that. And then, they came afterwards. I'm thinking the first time. And $2,800. So I saved $3,000, but it still cost me 55,000 Rand to send 2 cats from Joburg to Maryland. Yeah. Anyway, so it's pricey. Oh, I never get to eat because I'm busy working for you guys. So to ask about the form, I saw if your kids are under 21, you fill in the form, or did I do it wrong? 2 adults and 19-year-old. No, fill it in, but Ilona. But I mean, is that what the form says? 21? Usually it says 18. I'm surprised it says. I haven't looked that closely at it, but yeah, fill it in, and then it would be a smart idea for your 19-year-old also to go fill their own statement of interest, but put them on your statement of interest ahead of household. Yep, they're part of your family, and see how it goes. Okay. All right. 13 Frico Raven von Croy. Welcome to you. Do you eat crab from Luke near Maryland? I don't know what Luke is. What is Luke? No, I get my crab from one of the northernmost places you can get steamed crabs here. Are you referring to Wise when talking about access to money? Wise is one of the banking options, yes. Some people say it works. Some people say it doesn't work. I don't know. I don't use it. Darlene Stan, welcome to you. To Be Safe, Kailemi. Okay. Yes, Arctic answered my question about the pets already. Just have my braibrutki with onions. Ugh, onions. Just Aitner. What that means. Coffee would be lekker now. The thing of nouns. Rhino Girl. Pepper. North Idaho. Head chores just... Oh, there you go. North Idaho. Okay, well, yeah, it's late morning then. Okay. North Idaho. Wow. Are you above Coeur d'Alene? I love Coeur d'Alene. If you just get the Californians out of there, I'd go there. Yep. Hey, Lindy, what's going on? Arctic is there. Sync Master. Richard, I'm busy every day. I also recorded a video earlier. Or did I record that video? I'm trying to remember now. I know I got a script for a video. Sandy says, apologies for forgetting. What'd you forget? Okay. Is it Wise Bank you're referring? Yeah, I answered that question already, man. Quit posting it. Yassine, there are already speculations of fuel price increase being blamed on the Iran issue, not to mention the new labor laws. Well, of course the fuel prices are going to go up because you get your oil from Iran. That's going to be disrupted. And the Chinese and the Japanese and the Europeans get it from there. We don't get any oil from Iran. But oil is a fungible commodity. We're all affected by it. Yep. Crab supplier near Maryland has a huge YouTube following, apparently very good and fresh quality, shipped to you directly. Luke, okay. Yeah, but I don't want live crabs. I want steamed crabs. Luke. Luke McFadden steamed Maryland crabs. Is that it? Caught Maryland, delivered straight to your door. Mallets, crab paper. Never heard of it. Looks good, though. $410. That's a Maryland area code. They're in Maryland. Huh. Medium males, 69 a dozen. Large males, 124. Oof. That is $30 more expensive than I pay for large males. That's pricey. Is Discovery Bank an international bank? Loretta, I don't know the answer on that one. Don't know. Sorry. Sent you number. She said you're more than welcome to contact her. Okay. Oh, okay, but I didn't know if she's on WhatsApp. That's how I was trying to reach her. Okay. Thank you for that. The stream has an unlisted label under the title. Unlisted label under the title. What does that mean? Unlisted label under the title. Okay. Really? Okay, that fixes it. That may explain why there's only 300 people here. You all found it. All right, well, it's public now. Thank you for the heads up. I didn't see that. I don't know how that happened. Okay, now it's listed. It's public. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for that. I should have seen that in my studio. Now it's public. Well, maybe some more people will join us now. Wow. Thank you, Gabriel Stoltz. Operator timing headspace on my part, apparently. Yeah. Stupid question, but if I'm under debt review, will that be a problem? Not for us, Martin. We don't care. We don't care. It's not an issue, as far as I know. But if you've got debt, you're best to settle it. Zona Bloom, welcome to you. Just east of Coeur d'Alene in the Silver Valley, all mountains mostly common. Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, Pepper, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I love Idaho, particularly that part of Idaho, the Panhandle. But I'm a Wyoming guy. Wyoming's my favorite. Shh. When's your birthday? Are you serious, Sandy? When's my birthday? Guys, when is my birthday? Can somebody tell Sandy when my birthday is? Somebody tell Sandy when my birthday is. Robert Zede, thank you for your membership. Odette, thank you for your membership. 2 months there. Appreciate that. We really like to get some numbers. If only 100,000, no problem. But if 1,000, what are you talking about, Stefan? What numbers? What are you asking for? What numbers? December 25th. Thank you, Arctic. Yep, December 25th. Christmas, hence the name Chris. you think they will still have people fly out in groups? Nope. They're flying people out individually on planes. They're groups, but you don't know they're groups. Thank you, whoever that was, just subscribed. Thank you, Anita DeBeer. Yep, they're just sending people out left. We just went from 400 to 600. Wow, because now it's listed publicly. Thank you for pointing that out, Gabriel Stoltz. My apologies for people just tuning in. Had an error here. Didn't have this assessed correctly. That's entirely my fault. Entirely my fault. People are finding out we just jumped to 624. Another 30 people joined us. Wow. Yep. Yes, anonymous recall. Seriously, Christmas Day, 25th of December is my birthday. I was born on Christmas Day. I'm the eldest. Thanksgiving moves on the calendar. It's the last Thursday of every November. So sometimes it's the 28th, sometimes it's 26th, sometimes, So I was born on Christmas Day. My sister was born a few years after me, the next child, on Thanksgiving Day, a U.S. holiday. My brother was born after her, and he was born on Valentine's Day. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. And then I have two other siblings who were born. One missed the holiday by a week by being too late, and the other one missed it by a week by being too soon, Thanksgiving. So, yep. Yeah, boy, that's the fact. So sick of the Twitter posts. I haven't even looked at Twitter for that issue yet. Francois Diego and the Super Chats are back on. Yes, they're back on. Well, when people are talking and doing interviews, it's distracting, so I try to turn them off. Or when people give out memberships, it's like, it distracts the tracks I turn off. So, anyway, so did somebody just give memberships? No. Okay, there you go. Inkwell Odyssey, thank you for your membership. All right. Since you've vetted background, will the U.S. agents have access to juvenile records of 20 years ago? And South African juvenile records are sealed and not accessible. I think your question is, since we vet your background, will we have access to those records? Well, you don't have to have access to records to find things out, guys. Do you think the only way to find things out is by getting court records? No. Do you know why? Because people have big mouths. They talk. People like to talk, and then you run it down. Why? Did you murder someone as a teenager? Don't answer that question. Steam is not... got it, Gabriel. Thank you for pointing out. Can't find the stream. It's there now, Francois. Thanks, guys. It was my fault entirely. Well, now you're all telling me that. Good Lord. Can I put a birthday cake up for Teresa Nothnagel? Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Boy, you've asked late in the day here. This is not usually when we would have done it, but I got to find it now. Give me a second here. Come on, where are you hiding at? No, it's going to be further down than that. Come on. Alert bucks. There we go. Got it. Took a little while to get there. I need to put a Stream Deck birthday thing up here just because the audience is so much larger now. Now we get birthdays all the time. Happy birthday to Teresa Nothnagel. Can we get some love and some applause and, some whistles and, blow ticklers out there? And there's a super chat from Nikita. Thanks for everything you've done. You're very welcome, Nikita. That's because Michelle Devanaga, I made a mistake. That's on me. It was listed as unlisted. So the only reason people got here is because it got directed. So that explains why the audience was small. Now we're up to 718 people. There you go. Seems like people want to dine and dash us out there. Makes many loans and run away. Don't sell your integrity. Yeah, never sell your integrity. Pay your debts. Lindy Dutoy, Linda Joubert, but we don't care. It's not a determining factor for your refugee status. Yep. Guys, you keep thinking about this as if it's immigration. It's not immigration. Immigration, if you're a deadbeat and you owe money, it's going to affect it. But refugee status is because your life is in jeopardy. Your life is in peril. You're at risk. That's why you're getting it, for persecution. Seems like some people want, okay, got that. My girlfriend is pregnant right now. How will that affect her refugee application? Well, it's going to affect her mood, my friend. Well, I'm going to tell you how it's going to affect it. Your girlfriend is going to have to get your approval to take the kid over. She's going to have to apply as head of household, and you're going to have to apply as head of household. Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. We don't bring boyfriends and girlfriends and partners. That's not a nuclear family legally. Nuclear family. Spouses. Married. Gay, straight, doesn't matter. And their offspring, who are legally theirs. If you don't marry her, beast mode JJ, busy knocking up ladies out of wedlock. I'm not making any moral judgments, JJ. No, but seriously. If you don't marry her, she's going to have to file a refugee application or a statement of interest and mention the child. And you're going to have to file one because you're not a family. You're not a family legally. Does that make sense? I'm not telling you to get married. But if you want to do one and you want to ensure that you're all treated the same and you go together, then that's what you need to do. Okay? Does that help? Beast mode? Dude. Anyway. Robert Zede, thank you. Guy Turner, Gabriel Stoltz, you're welcome, Colonel. Stream is now listening. Yeah, I can see it here. It actually shows up in my studio. It says public, but I didn't see it because I literally rushed from one thing to I had to go tinkle, guys. Sorry, I had to tinkle. Sandra Yonka's back. Good to again see you, Sandra. Andre Mostart, Medic. Mariki Bezuidenhout. Okay. Veroshka's back. What's the declare? Damn, tube booted me out. Couldn't find it. You sent the notice out. Yep. Everybody's saying my birthday. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, happy birthday to... Okay, cool. You guys gave a happy birthday to Teresa Nothnagel. Yep. Johan Klote, thank you for everything you do. You're very welcome. James Duvall, honest question, Colonel. How do civilians salute an American service member with the correct respect? Well, civilians aren't allowed to salute. Thank you, Megan, for the 70 Rand. So a proper salute is different in every military. But in our military... Proper salute is like this. These fingers are straight, right hand. The thumb is tucked under like that, okay? See like that? So you don't see it when it's like that. So there's the thumb tucked under. You raise it up to the eyebrow, okay? If you're wearing a hat, it goes to the brim of the hat. But it comes straight up like this and right over the eyebrow like that. Not like this. That's a British salute. Not like this. I don't know what that is. Not like this. Not like this. Not like Ronaldo has a broken finger. He can't do it properly. But a proper salute would be to come straight up like this. And then you go down. Now, when I retract it, I close the hand as I go down. Smart. Looks sharp. But that's how you do it. Can someone please share the link to the documentary Colonel spoke of? Yeah, is it in there? Someone put the link in? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, there it is. Arctic just did. Okay, so hang on a second. Okay, got it. Yep, okay, I'm going to give you guys the link to that. I'll pin it to the thing. So, wow, he's got 1,000 people watching it. No doubt a lot of the people were over here. So let me go ahead and pin that in. So that's for Joe Emilio's. But there's a lot of pent-up interest in it, too, to be fair. A lot of people have heard about it because Joe did a trailer. That was smart of Joe to put a trailer out there. So after you're done here and we finish, I would recommend you go watch that. It's an excellent documentary. You're going to be really impressed. You're also going to be pissed off. And that documentary can be more evidence of racism directed against people in South Africa. Does it help if I've been to USA, worked for 9 years? Not at all, Jacobus. Not at all. Why would that help you get refugee status? Were you racially discriminated against or persecuted in the United States? No, it doesn't help. It will make it easier for them to determine that you're legitimate because you've been here and you've left. You've been here, you've left. You've adhered to the standards of your visa. Obviously, you're a trustworthy person. From that standpoint, someone adjudicating your case and listening to your story will probably believe it much easier. If that respect, it does help. But it doesn't give you an advantage. It's like somebody that used to work here, they got a Social Security number. It doesn't give you an advantage. It's not about Social Security number. It's not about working here. It's not about having been here before. It's about suffering from unjust persecution. That's what it's about. One man on his own. What's that, Daniel? Okay. Put a ring on it. Yep. Can we marry after the interview? Nope. Oh, I mean after the interview? Yeah. You can tell him that. But you're not going to get called in with that person. So if you have a partner, they're not going to be allowed to go to the interview with you. So you can tell them, hey, here I am. I'm here. I got a girlfriend. She's 8 months pregnant. And we ain't married. But we're going to get married next week. Now, you can fill out a statement and put them down as part of your family. I would do that, even though you're not. Okay? And then let's see if they let you in. But I don't know. Anyway, so, yeah, I look, I'm not doing the interviews. I know the questions I would ask the interview as a law enforcement official, as an interviewer, counterintelligence agent, but I don't know what they're doing there. Do your own research and watch previous videos before asking the same questions. Been asked for months. Does anyone know how much notice one gets before one has to be prepared to flight? No, Karen, it varies. It varies. And it depends on how many people they've got in the queue. Okay, Elmarie Swart, that's a question we've answered many times, but this is a refugee session. That's why I'm here to answer questions. You can apply for citizenship after you've been in America as a refugee and obeyed our laws for 5 years. You don't become a citizen right away, but you can apply after 5 years. By contrast, most people become citizens who come here have to wait 8 to 10 years before they're able to achieve citizenship. Refugees get a faster track, and even faster track is those who serve honorably in the U.S. military. After 3 years of honorable military service, a foreign national can apply for citizenship in America. That's the fastest path to citizenship. Yep. So, hi, when will Durban be available for interviews? Well, I have no idea, Peter. The State Department's given no indication they're ever going to go to Durban or Cape Town, Nelspruit, Uppington, Polokwane, Petersburg, Chimera, Port Elizabeth. No indication. Right now, Pretoria, and last week they opened up Joburg too. So my program, if I ran it, would include all the cities I just mentioned at a minimum. I'm Bloemfontein. But you're going to have to go right now. You're going to have to go to Joburg or to Pretoria. And that's just how the cookie crumbles right now. Yep. Pete Smith's back. Okay. And now we're up to 730 people here. Cool. Oh my goodness, very busy dashing from one live to the other. Feet doesn't touch the ground. That's true. And you make mistakes. I must have listed this unlisted. The reason it's unlisted is because I had taken, when I got that time out from YouTube over waving a firearm, which I didn't have, out of abundance of caution, I blocked the previous 4 or 5 days of live streams and made them private, which reduced my viewership significantly. It cost me a lot of views, but I wasn't going to risk that they say that this is you did something wrong, because I don't know what the hell I did. I didn't do anything. So when you reuse the settings, it does this. So last week's shouldn't have been an issue. I don't know why I did that. Do I think the embassy will be doing them in Cape Town? I have no idea, Sandy. I hope they will. I've talked about that endlessly. I would hope they would do that, but I'm not running the program, and that costs money. You guys have to understand it costs money, because we're sending people from the States over to South Africa. Sending them to Joburg is easy. It's one flight. Atlanta or D.C., over. Sending them to Cape Town and Durban and PE and Uppington costs us a ton of money. This isn't a jobs program. We're not looking for workers. We're helping people in need. And if they want to get out, they're going to have to get to where they need to go. Gabi, what's going on? Do you think they will continue doing... No, they're not doing interviews over the phone. Where are you getting that from? Who said they're doing interviews over the phone? What are you talking about? I mean, unless they change some dramatic policy, you don't do interviews over the phone. How can you judge the character of a person when you can't see them? A Zoom session, possibly, but over the phone? No, I seriously doubt that. You may get called for some preliminary information or to verify information, but an interview? Seriously doubt that. I would never do an interview over the phone as an investigator. Never. Your body language says a lot about what you're saying, and it also tells me about the veracity and how honest you are. Well, thank you, Linda de Abreu. Yeah, it is a lovely book at top. I like it. Do you think I would be successful if I'm applying alone 18? I've been denied bursaries. Yeah, I think you would be awkwardly on. I didn't realize you're awkwardly. For some reason, I always think you're older. Well, let me tell you this, awkwardly on. Did you get like a 94 on your matric? If you got like a 94 on your matric, if you got like a 67 on your matric and you're going to claim it was race, you're probably not going to win that argument, awkwardly on. But if you got like an 89 or a 95 or something like that, and you were turned down at several universities and you've got the letters of rejection, that should be sufficient. That's a genuine fear or a genuine case, all right? Does that help you, awkwardly on? Marley Quinn, it would be nice to get an email saying in progress. It would be, but Marley, you're completely misunderstanding technology. The statement of interest isn't an email. The statement of interest is a Google form. Google would have to provide emails. Google doesn't do that. They chose to use a Google form, I guess, for expediency. I would have done it differently, but that's just me. Baby Dino, please can you talk about discipline on children and seriousness of that? We're all brought up on spankings here, but I know in the U.S. this could be seen as abuse. Yes, in some locations it can be, but just don't beat your kids in public. Don't beat your kids. Disciplining, corporal punishment's allowed in most places, but people get carried away. So, yep. Applied 4 days after statement of interest. When will be emailed or called? I have no idea, Flamingo Tech. I have no idea. How would I possibly know that? No one knows that except the people that are going through them. I know people that would send it on the 12th who've already been called. I know people that send it on the 20-something of May and have already been called. Don't know the order or how they're making these determinations. Also, qualified experience in more than one field. That has no impact, Daniel. Nobody gives a flying flip what your qualifications are, what your skills are, what you contribute. We do care when you get here. You can't be a, freaking, leech. You got to go work. Expect you to go work and pay taxes, contribute. That's why we let you work right away. But for those who are able to work. But God bless it. This chair is sinking in here. But as far as hang on a second, I gotta turn this thing. As far as whether your qualifications, you think you're an immigrant, Daniel. You're not an immigrant. It's a refugee. You guys need to get yourselves out of this concept here. You need to think of yourself as a Somali sitting in a crap hole refugee camp with 650,000 other people sweltering in the northeast Kenya heat on the edge of a desert, desperate to get out of this crap hole. That's what you need to think of, okay? Do you think any of those people have any skills we want? Probably 99% of them are useless to the society, useless to our economy, like Ilhan Omar. There's a perfect example. Completely useless. No value. Now, I'm not attacking Somalis. I'm just saying these aren't exactly nuclear engineers, biophysicists, geneticists, commercial farmers. That's not who they are. Get yourself out of that mindset. We don't bring those people here because they're those things, and we're not bringing you here because of those things. We're bringing you here because of unjust racial persecution. Done and dusted. I don't care if you've got $1 billion. Doesn't give you an advantage as a refugee. I don't care if you splice the atom successfully. Don't care. Doesn't matter. You are completely off base here. It does not matter. If you have 4 PhDs and are a published author with patents, and you go to the refugee interview and you can't articulate a past case of persecution, or you have no genuine fear, well, I'm not afraid of anything happening. Do you think you're going to get refugee status? No, ain't going to happen. Pat's Pat. Indication that people who applied outside the old application system has been called for interviews. I don't understand your question there. I'll get to it again in a second. Please, can you talk about... I already did that, okay. Apply for a program and have a possibility of a seasonal job coming up before the embassy calls. Do you advise to pass on the job? I'm not sure what you're saying. You're talking about an H-2A visa to come to America? I don't know how to answer the question. You might have to wait 6 months. Can you afford to wait 6 months? It might be 8 months before they get to you. I mean, I would apply if it were me. I mean, this is your decision, not mine. If it were me and I have a visa to go do an H-2A job in North Dakota and I leave in 2 months, I would put my statement of interest in because your residence is South Africa, you're on temporary work visa states. If they contact you, well, then I would say, okay, I'll come for the interview. Then you have to fly back for the interview and ask what's going on. Well, I'm currently in the States on H-2A, but that expires and I don't want to be back here. Does that make sense? Okay. Hope that helps, Dawn. Concern as if having to fly to Joburg is how long between interviews. Well, again, Ian Moon, you're assuming that there are interviews. That's the problem earlier. People were talking when I had Ernst and Sonia on earlier. Well, 2 interviews, 3 interviews. Don't worry about it. There may be 1 interview. There may be no interviews at some point. You need to take it as it comes. There is no prescribed path here. And trying to divine prescribed path is just going to get you pissed off. Well, they lied to me. They misled me. They told me this. They told me that. Or you're going to be like that Herprin lady and they, oh, he lied. No, you heard what you wanted to hear because it suited your needs. That's not the same as me lying. That's you hearing what you want to hear. So just take it as it comes, you know. I'm saying that you know the process of background vetting, the process of technologies. Just want to know whether or not U.S. agents would have access to seal records. No, humanoid cell. Normally speaking, U.S. agents would not have access to investigative agents to sealed records in South Africa. That's correct. Well, that was a long time ago. You comment on that. Okay. My wife says I have Wyattism. She says I'm scared I miss a live or video. We're breaking the internet. I broke the internet the other day. On the statement of interest, how are they determining levels of urgency? It isn't anything to do with. I don't think it has anything to do with that, Anonymous. You guys are, once again, just like the South African politicians, well, everyone's a victim of crime. I don't think it has anything to do with urgency. You're the ones putting urgency in there. The executive order says nothing about urgency. The statement of interest says nothing about urgency. The system doesn't care about your urgency. I'm not trying to be callous or cold to you. I'm just saying it doesn't care. I get emails all the time. Chris, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Oh, my God, this has happened. Well, I empathize with you, but you're barking up the wrong tree. It doesn't get you an advantage. Doesn't get you out any faster. It just doesn't, guys. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. So they're not determining levels of urgency. They're determining, how are they determining? I don't know how they're determining because I know for a fact now that they've called people who were interviewed in the first 100 recently, scheduled interviews for them to come back in. Also know that some of those people have now come over here. And I know that people who've put in statements of interest since the 12th of May and after those dates have also gotten interviews. So I don't know the logic or the scheme of how they're doing this. It's obviously not first come, first serve. It's obviously not, based on incidents. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they reach into a bucket and, whoa, it's Anonymous's file. I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know. I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm just telling you I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. The EB3 visa, 18 months and costs $20,000 depending on family size. Yeah, but then don't you have to put like half of $800,000 in? Hanali Sten. Oh, wants to go in aviation. Well, there's plenty of aviation opportunity here in America, that's for sure. Just expensive. It's very expensive. Well, I go wherever I need to be for. Exactly, Louis. Mad Max, I don't know that it is based on the time frame. I really don't know. I suspect it has something to do with it, but I don't guarantee that. They're not going to wait 9 months if you say you can leave in 9 months and then contact you after 9 months. That doesn't make any sense. Your circumstance could have changed. You could be dead. They're just asking for the time frame so that when they do interviews, and if you're approved, they'll know, okay, Pat's, 6 months from now, we'll put them in that window. All right, now we got to book out all the flights and all the people. Okay, then Mad Max said 9 months, so he goes in that 9 to 12 month. And Hanli Sten said ready in 0 to 3 months, so we can put her here. But we're full in 0 to 3 months, so Hanli's going to have to wait till the 6 to 9 months. Does that make sense? The old system, sending email for the pilot project versus new. I don't understand what the question is there. No, nothing you own is worth more than your life. Exactly. So you try to create past proof, not directly connect to actual race persecution. You expose yourself. Rather look. I don't know who Polly is. I didn't see any Polly here, but he's zombie on that issue. Just don't lie. I mean, if you felt you were being unjustly persecuted because of race, then say so. They don't have to agree with you. Edward Gabaya, enjoyed your earlier interview. Wishing that couple all the joy. Yeah, that was pretty cool, huh? Dutchman says, sell everything and make it happen. Stephen Hasselman's back. Good to see you again there. Anonymous says, thanks, you're welcome. James, Colonel broke the internet with the weapon of mass destruction, the bugger off bunny. Yep. What happens if you live rural and have issues with reception most of the time? I don't know why people keep asking this question. You give them a phone number, you give them an email address. They'll make an effort to contact you. Sandy says, I presume they're interviewing the group that selected 0 to 3 months to pack up and leave. That's a false presumption. What's your basis for making that presumption? Just because it makes sense? Doesn't make it true. Doesn't make it true. Yeah. Because then everybody would have put 0 to 3 months and lied. That's why they're asking for your true date. They're not going to make decisions based on that. So my wife is very... So if you put in 0 to 3 months and they only get to you in 4 months, well, that's when they get to you. And they go, oh, they can go now. I was very close to her sister. Can her sister apply with us as a family unit? Nope. Nope, Elizabeth. Is your sister your legal dependent? Are you her legal guardian? If not, no. I assume she's an adult. If she's an adult, she has to apply on her own. You can, if she lives with you, list her on that, and then it's up to them to decide what they're going to do. Okay? That makes sense? Still struggling at booking at Home Affairs in Durban. I can only do a passport via my bank. Do you pay all up? I don't know how you pay, Karen. I don't know. You still don't have that? Good Lord. Eldeo, guys, turn off true caller, answer all calls. Apparently number looks like a South African number, but being diverted from their side. That's accurate. Chris Mattia, just wanted to find out if I have a fear of the EFF doing what they do, will that qualify as fear of future persecution? I think if you can articulate it well, Chris Mattia, I mean, if you live in a town where the EFF has come and harassed business owners and, and you're like, I'm worried, they're talking about killing the Boer and, yeah. Again, I'm surprised that was a condition. I think they did that to weed out a bunch of people because the way that the executive order was written, that wasn't going to have to be the case. President Trump designated a priority 2 group of people based on the way he wrote the executive order. So the way the executive order is written, you shouldn't have had to approve it. You should have, mere fact that you're an Afrikaner or a racial minority. But I think because of the what's the word here? Not obscurity, but what's the word I'm looking for here? the vagueness of what a racial minority is, that's probably why they said you got to prove it or you got to have genuine fear. Johan, you're going to try to get an interview with the next people from the interest to hear how these processes work. Johan, I've had several people offer, but no one wants to come on. I didn't ask anybody to come on until they're actually here. It doesn't help anyone, even anonymously, because people will recognize people even anonymously. Somebody will recognize you. It doesn't help anybody to do this from South Africa and tell us their process. Number one, they could jeopardize the refugee status because you're not allowed to disclose that when you're over there. And number two, they could put themselves at risk from hate wankers. So, yes, several people reached out to me and said, hey, I've got an interview coming up. Once I'm over, I'm happy to talk about this. So, yeah, I will. ID card is only free if you are 60 years old. Okay. Hannes Holzhausen, thank you for the plaque. Congratulations. If you are head of your house and your wife and sons also apply, do you think all of us will have to go for an interview? Son's older than 18. Everyone will go for an interview. Yes, is correct, Daniel. Yep, you're going to have to all go for the interview. Do you think there will be a cap? I don't think there will be a cap. I just think it's going to be taking too long to process. It's too slow, the process, but I don't think there's going to be a cap. Does that help? When the form says it's a military form, so they will call only once. It says that on the form? Never saw that in the form. Maybe they've updated. Well, then I don't know what to tell you, guys. Don't know what to tell you. That's very unfair. If my wife is a Dutch citizen and kids and I am South African, would we be seen as qualifying family? Yes, you would. You would, Mr. Echo, assuming you're a racial minority or an Afrikaner. Yep. The head of household or the person in the household who qualifies, because that person is subject to unjust persecution, they're not going to break up a nuclear family. I've covered this many times. If you're a South African married to a Thai national and you qualify, your family's going to be able to go with you. They get a good deal. Yes, they normally call and email. We discussed that earlier. That's what they said in the previous interview. Many things happened to me, but I've never called the police or laid a charge because the police don't care. Should I say what, Napoleon? Should you say what? You should check the block that you've been a victim of past persecution. Click it. And then you fear future. Then tell them. Guys, it doesn't matter whether you filed a police report. I mean, I don't know what people keep rocking up on this, like you've got to have a police report or something. You don't. Do you think we trust police reports from SAPs? Do you think U.S. government relies on SAPs police reports to do investigations? No. No. And we also don't rely on them from Mexico or Canada or anywhere else. Although some jurisdictions we will listen to them, like Canadians or Brits. But we don't, no. You don't need a police case in order to prove past persecution. If you're persecuted, tell your story. If it's true, it's true. Chris is thanking Arctic for something. I'm thankful I'm still alive. I'm thankful the refugee program's been launched, I believe. In divine intervention, excuse me, I believe things will happen for better for my future. Sorry. And then Ludwig just gave, hey, Chris, 3 patriotic books you would recommend to learn about the Forming America. Oh, dude, that's a tough thing to ask me right now. Thank you for the super chat, though. For all the whiners, skip the process and buy a $5 million Trump gold card. Gustav, that's good. What do I know is that the U.S. are very busy. They're working hard and still think they do things in record time. Over 18, they'll be interviewed. Yep. I think people are flipping out because the who do we call first criteria, nobody knows. Just be patient. Exactly. Caroline Burns, another shout out to me. Thank you so much, Anonymous. It's wrong. Your first ID card is free. If you lose it, you get a second when you pay. The Air Force is a safer branch of the military and many opportunities for learning transferable skills. Well, I didn't join the military to be safe. I joined the military to defend the nation and protect the Constitution. Ian Funderberg, and doing it in the Air Force wasn't that appealing. You're welcome. ID card's not free. Okay. Mike Vzin, collecting our passports tomorrow. We did it at ABSA branch. It took exactly 1 week. We went in last Monday, and they sent us an SMS on Friday. There you go. See, there's no reason why passports should take a long time. It's just the incompetence of local officials. Sold off most of our stuff just to get our paperwork in order, says Johan. Okay. Samantha, if I get a call, I will have to sell my cell phone to go, as it's the only thing I own. Samantha, you have no relatives that can loan you money. You have nothing you can do odd jobs for anybody. How are you eating? Look, I'm not. You don't answer these questions. Don't answer the questions. I don't want you people attacking the chat. But you're eating something. I mean, you're paying for the airtime you're using, unless you're, slaving off somebody's Wi-Fi. There's got to be a way. Okay. Have you begged on a street corner? Virginia says, congratulations on 100,000. You actually deserve well, thank you very much, Virginia. I think I deserve $1 million too. If I made $1 million, boy, we'd be making a lot more trips and I'd be seeing you guys more often. Robbed and gunpoint in the bad area we live in. Kind of place ourselves under house arrest. Too scared. Sorry to hear that, Rentia. It's terrible. Caroline Burns. I say rent the farm out and collect the rent until it's confiscated. That's an idea, Eddie. Some of us need the time to sell a house before the property depreciates. Well, you don't need time. You need to get rid of it. Time will make it depreciate because everybody starts leaving. Loretta says thank you. 14 Rand, thank you. I say rent the farm out, okay? 140 for new ID card, still waiting for it. Okay, well, maybe people are cheating you. I don't know. Spare yourself a lot of angst when you complete a statement of interest. Just follow the process. Go about your everyday business. Get documented. Exactly, Ingrid. That's what I try to tell people. And people's feelings got hurt. They got really nasty things about me and made recorded videos because I said, just go about your life. That's my advice. Go about your life. You can't control it. I mean, guys, you have no control over this. You submit the statement of interest, and what do you do next? Is worrying about going to get you an appointment? Is fretting? Is going to the embassy? Is making phone calls? None of that's going to do anything for you except, make your life more miserable. Just go about your business. Passport application go much quicker. We went for one at George. It took 7 days. Yeah, but George is a well-run municipality. Pay with my card because they stopped accepting cash halfway through. Okay. Son is 18. He has Asperger's. Will be interviewed separately. Well, do you have legal custody of your son, or is he functioning with Asperger's? Most people with Asperger's can function. They're functioning member of society. So put him on your form, and he should submit an application too, would be my recommendation. Menlyn Park, 4 days. Wow. Just ask how many of my family are interested. Does that mean my family or my dependents? I have no idea what that question is. It means your family, it means your nuclear family, not your cousins and your aunt, your Tani and your No, it means your family. That's not your family. Those are your relations. Your parents, when you're out of the house, an adult, are no longer your family. They're your relations. Does that help? The Tani is not your family. She's your relation. Hi, Chris. Do you need to have South African passport ready when you apply? You do not have to have a passport when you apply because you're sending a statement of interest. If you get one in the interim, when you go in, you'll have a passport. If you don't, they'll ask you what the status is, and they'll make decisions based on that. But put your statement in. Put your statement in. Don't wind up behind 150,000 other people. I stay with my mom. She's helping me. I tried to get a part-time job. Yeah, skin not the right color, but I'm not giving up. Okay, Samantha, hang in there. Okay. There's got to be a way to get you some money. Legally. I think someone who's a general refugee will make a plan somehow to get the process started. Hey, G-Sor. Yeah, that's exactly. The statement of interest doesn't say anything about phoning you once. I never heard of that. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? You guys are just making shit up. Making shit up. Thank you for checking that, Yanni. I never saw that in the statement of interest. I went all the way through the statement of interest. I never saw that. Stop making shit up. Good God. You just get people all frazzled and spazzed out. If we all just take a minute and think how lucky we are to get away from the crime and danger and make any plan you can. Exactly. From embassy just before the interest form, the following text. Given the volume of interest, individuals may not receive a response for an extended period. There you go. There you go. Well, and we have people saying that only a few thousand people have applied. What a crock that is, obviously. Fear of persecution is enough. That's correct, Bernice. Anyone is waiting to rent or sell a pet-friendly townhouse in Western Cape, let me know. Passports in 7 days. Must we get a rabies injection? Not to my knowledge, Anonymous Recall. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you don't because you can't get a rabies injection. It doesn't work that way. You get 3 injections with rabies. And you have to separate them by 30, 60, 90 days, something like that. I forget how it works. I know because I've been inoculated against rabies more than once. Not because I was bit, but because I was going to Africa. There'll always be a way to continue with your normal life. Be patient. Yep. Yeah, can we get more likes? That'd be great. More likes would be fantastic. Why a flu shot? Had everyone forgotten the last one that's killed millions of people? The flu shot didn't kill millions of people. Stop making bullshit up there, altruism. Didn't kill millions of people. That's nonsense. Nonsense. Why a flu shot? Because you're not bringing influenza to us. You're on opposite seasons. Opposite seasons. I came back here with a freaking pathogen from South Africa, and it took over a month to stop coughing. We should subject our population to your pathogens. Really concerned about so many people that don't have their documents in order. I've been in this mess for so many years. We got a passport immediately when my daughter was born in case anything happened. Smart move, enemy. Mr. Echo gave a serious super chat. We've seen tiny ones until then. Thank you for that. 350 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Yeah, I agree with you, anime. I don't understand. But I mean, South Africans are just laissez-faire about documents and laws and, obeying the law. Louis Funny-Kerk, look, I also applied, still waiting. That is fine. I'm still doing what I have to do to survive here for now. Just tough it out until. Okay, Louis, good approach. Khan Engman giving us the time in Central Europe, in the Netherlands. What's not if you're disabled? What's that question? Not your redneck family either. Your immediate family members, exactly. Not your cousin who you're sleeping with. Altruism and arguing with me is going to change UCS requirements. What did altruism say? Exactly. Yeah. Why a flu shot? Yeah, altruism. Get over it, man. Arguing with Arctic is not going to change the requirements, man. Baby Dino, what's going on? Hey, Kim, what's going on? That helps plenty, Colonel. Chris Wyatt, thank you. We see family as what Americans see as relations. Well, Rory, we see family as that too. I'm giving you a legal definition. It's a legal definition. As an investigator, that's not your family. Americans, yeah, my parents, I consider my family, but that's not your family. Your family are your offspring and your spouse. That's your family. If you have legal custody and guardianship over someone else, an elderly parent with dementia or Alzheimer's, or someone physically incapable and you're responsible for their decision making, and you have that authority legally, then that's your family. Fiance got married yesterday. Woohoo! Elizabeth, congratulations. As usual, temporary ID system was offline. Oh my goodness. Happy occasion there, Elizabeth. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to break your hearts. Elizabeth is off the market. Unless it's an open marriage. Just teasing. That happens plenty. Thank you. We see. Okay, got it. Okay. We jumped here a little bit. Oh, Team Fender gave a super chat too. I didn't see that one. Okay, altruism. Do you want to get blocked here? The flu shot is not the COVID vaccine. Stop the bullshit. Right there. Full stop. I've taken influenza vaccines for 40 years. It's not COVID. It's not the same thing. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. Okay? We'll all watch this country decline. You don't get a COVID shot. We've already covered that. Are you not listening? There's no COVID shot. Wannabe Storm Chaser? What's a Storm Chaser? Did you mistype that? You mean Storm Chaser? If you did the statement of interest, relax. Just get your breast. We're ready to get your... Yep, Mad Max, you're spot on there. Before this program, I knew I needed to get out. I had no options and very little money. I sold stuff and worked in gardens to make enough money to get my passport prepared to go to France. Oh, Pat's Pat. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And there's another super chat from Rainier. Okay. I already applied for the unabridged Cape Town. I got to wait 6 months. Okay. Flu shots don't help. I'm sorry, Anonymous Recall. And your profession in the field of epidemiology is? Are you a epidemiologist? Are you a diagnostician? Are you a general practitioner? Are you an infectious disease specialist? Which Anonymous Recall, please tell us which of those you are for your qualifications here to tell us that the jab doesn't work for the flu. What's your pin above question? Do you think they are opportunists? I have no idea what your above question is, Anonymous. Last thing I saw from you was there's nothing here. Guys, you need to ask your question again if you're going to do that. I can't see that question. Yeah. Arctic says because they effing say so. Exactly. You want to come? Then get over it. For me to go to Africa, I had to get yellow fever. I had to get freaking rabies. I had to get hepatitis. I had to get everything under the sun. I didn't get a say in the matter. Rabies is not for horses. That's fake information, Herman. You're full of it. You're making up nonsense. Rabies vaccines are for humans. Humans. High function. I just fear he tends to tell others how they should do their job. Well, yeah. So I appreciate your overprotective ink. Well, and I get it. Asperger's. That's not a statement, but that is a common thing with people with Asperger's. You're right. Yeah, I think Elon Musk actually has Asperger's the way he behaves. Include if he's included in your family sheet, but he's probably got to play on his own. But people keep saying different things, but that's how it's supposed to work. Mr. Echo 350 Rand, thank you for that. I already mentioned that. We've all watched this country decline. The once-off cost of passports should not be a barrier. Sometimes it feels like it's more explained to people the more excuses made. I agree with you, G-Sword. More excuses being made all the time by people. Yanni Bosov, you're welcome, Colonel. People should stop fear-mongering the process they cause their own anxiety. Exactly. Arctic is on fire, says Phoenix. Team Venter, 140 Rand. Thank you. I think Jughead has bad signal and doesn't get the answer. He said he will watch after the stream is ended. Okay, could be. Okay. Colonel, I don't know if I heard correctly from your earlier interview. Do you need to bring passport photos along when you get the first interview? I didn't hear that either. People were talking about it. I wasn't really paying attention. Why would you need passport photos? They'll tell you. They'll tell you, Anton. They'll tell you what you need to bring the interview. So I wouldn't worry about it. Why would you need an unabridged marriage certificate? Because how can they issue a divorce decree if there's no marriage? How? Because corrupt officials issue documents all the time, Karen. Because they said so. Next question. Use Arctic's answer. Because they said so. That's why. Would you suggest we get the 4 passport photos so long for the medical? I have no idea about the passport photos. It's the first I heard about passport photos. Again, I've never applied to be a refugee. So, applied for my passport on past Tuesday and was blessed to not stand in the queue. I was there an hour and a half, and then they sorted. It cost me $600. I'll receive it in 8 days. There you go. In Durban. Hey, Andre, that's awesome. Got my renewed passport in 5 days. Still waiting for my SMS from my wife for her new issue. Okay, Rory, thanks for that. When we went over to USA, we got flu there. When we came back, we got flu here. Flu strains differ, not COVID shots, guys. Yeah, they do differ. And that's why. So the way that it works for those who are not epidemiologists in the crowd, which would be almost everybody here. So flu season is year-round. It's a myth that it comes seasonally, okay? Influenza is available year-round. People get the flu in summertime, okay? People get the flu in wintertime. But people get more flu in the wintertime. Do you know why? Your immune system is stressed because your body's staying warm, okay? And you congregate indoors because it's cold. We're all wussies. Ooh. So we're indoors with people all the time. In summertime, they're all out on the beach, spread out. No one's coughing and hacking and sneezing all over you. So influenza is year-round. But it tends to be more prevalent because people are easier to catch it in the wintertime. Whether it's the southern hemisphere winter, which is now, or the northern hemisphere winter, which comes later in the year. So what they do is they go around, they take samples of all the sick people who show up at clinics in Australia, in New Zealand, in Argentina, in South Africa. They culture that and they grow it, and then they look at it and they create a vaccine to address the most prevalent strain or strains. And they test it. And this goes on year-round, this process. So it's wintertime in South Africa, so you're all getting flu now. So there's scientists doing all this all over the southern hemisphere, correlating the data, and then they're making a jab to fight that influenza. When we get to wintertime, they'll take all our samples, and then they'll create a vaccine, which is what you get down there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Tried to pay my social security number that I lost in the U.S. Embassy, and they gave me a Johannesburg number to call. Call drop. I select 6. Well, I don't know why you're calling Johannesburg to get your Social Security number, because the Social Security Administration is not in Johannesburg, Ash Potato, unless it's a Social Security office located in the consulate, which is possible, but I didn't know we had one there. So you need to go to the Social Security Administration website and search how to get your number. Okay? That's how you have to do it. But it's governed by privacy law, so I'm not sure how it works. All right. Go to Social Security Administration and look it up. Well, in fact, let's do it. Okay. How do I recover my Social Security number? To find your Social Security number, the most straightforward way is to check your Social Security card. Well, duh. Thank you for that, AI. If you don't have your card, you can also find your Social Security on tax documents like W-2 forms and tax returns. Okay. Duh. Okay. Request a replacement card. If you can't find your card, you request a replacement card online through the Social Security Administration if you're a U.S. citizen. Okay. If you're unable to apply online, you can contact them directly by visiting. Okay. God bless it. It just took me there. That's not what I wanted. Go back. Visiting a local office or calling the customer service line. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, let me see that. Yep. So yeah, that's the problem. Okay. It doesn't help you, but you should have been more careful with your Social Security number. When they're issued, you're told to be careful and protect this. It's for life. It's not a temporary gig. Pick your battles. No reason to argue over the Klatsch shot. Exactly. It's not a Klatsch shot. God, stop it. It's not a Klatsch shot. Too many crickets. Samantha said you need passport photos for the medical, but you can go to get it. Okay, yeah. Is that what she said? Because I was looking at chat and addressing things. Okay, that was news to me. I hadn't heard that. Okay, but you'll get it at Santon City when you go there. Okay. Miss V, 50 Rand, says good evening. Thank you, Miss V. Thanks for hitting the... Buffering is terrible even if I go back 2 minutes. Well, Rebecca, I don't know what's going on. You got a bad connection. Garrett Fundameva, stupid question. Is there any malaria in the U.S.? No. There are people with malaria who bring that pathogen here, but we don't have malaria. The United States was malaria endemic. The Tidewater region of Maryland and Virginia, the D.C. swamp, the Carolinas, Florida all had malaria brought in by Africans a long time ago. But we wiped it out. It's not endemic in America. There is no malaria region in America. Yep. Yep. We were 7 that applied, 4 adults, 3 minors, in and out in 2 hours, got all the passports in 5 days. Well, there you go, Zombie. Congratulations. If a husband can't get a passport because he is a non-South African citizen, even though he was born here, but can't get... Okay, I don't even understand how that happens. How is he a South African citizen born in South Africa but can't get a passport? You don't have to answer that, Lynette, but I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't know if it'll be sufficient. You'll have to go to the interview and see, and they'll tell you. But I doubt it. Unless the government of South Africa will honor your travel document, but then you're screwed. I mean, you can't go anywhere and do anything. You can't leave America and go somewhere for that time until you become an American citizen if you become one. We have 2 boys, 5 years and 7, severely autistic and mental disability who don't have passports. I read we don't need passports to them if we have unabridged birth certificates. Well, you read bullshit. You read absolute bullshit, Hayden. Who told you that bullshit? When have you ever seen somebody leave South Africa through immigration without a passport? With a birth certificate? No, that's nonsense. I don't know who told you that. And whether they have autism is not germane. It has nothing to do with it. You have to have a passport to enter the United States. You have to have a passport to leave South Africa. No photos needed for passports. They take digital photos at the office in mobile cases. But exactly, Dr. Colonel. Winter people cover up and block vitamin D from being formed from sunlight. That's why vitamin D is essential. Thank you, Wilhelm Lehman. Are you a doc or just a smart guy? Clinton West, thank you for your dedication and guidance, Colonel Chris. My family and I really appreciate your videos and hope to leave soon. Thank you, Clinton. Thanks for sharing. Anonymous Recall says you have a lot of patience. Yeah, I do, but I get attacked. That's what's so pathetic. Get attacked by hate wankers. Yep. Do you think there will be a time limit for the interview or should it be short? Every interview will be different, Lindy. We've talked to people who were there in less than an hour. They finished their interview in less than an hour. And I've talked to people that had 3-hour interviews. It depends. Depends who the interviewer is. Depends on your story. Depends on the situation. Also depends how many people are bullshitting and trying to cheat the system and they start becoming weary of it. It all depends. Daniel says he's out. You're welcome, Daniel. Be sure to hit the like button before you leave. Yep, it all depends. And what does it matter, Lindy? You're going to go. You're going to be interviewed. What did they say about paying for your lodging? You have to pay for it yourself, right? No passport, no flight, obviously. Yep. Yeah, infants have to have passports. You can't leave without a passport. It used to be they could. It used to be you didn't have to have a passport till they were 5 years old, but that's gone. Basically, you're screwed unless you can go to Social Security office in person. Yep. Well, it won't matter then, Arctic. Why does the South African care about the Social Security number if you're not here? You get here, go to the Social Security office. You're going to apply. You're going to say, hey, I had a Social Security number, but I lost my number because I didn't pay attention 15 years ago when I was here. They told me to keep it, but I didn't pay attention because I'm a blockhead. No, just kidding. Yeah, so. I'm disabled and my adopted sister is Kara, but she's not adopted with court papers. We took her in early. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You are disabled and your adopted sister is a carer, but she's not adopted. Why would your sister be adopted if she's your carer? You wouldn't adopt her. She could adopt you. I don't understand that. Yeah, it will be an issue based on what you said, Martin. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to be combative, but I don't understand. If I understand correctly, you're disabled. Your sister is your caregiver. And you start talking about adoption. Where does the adoption come in? Has she adopted you and responsible for your decisions? It doesn't sound like you're trying to tell me you adopted her. Why would you adopt your sister unless she's underage? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think you're misusing the word adopted. In this case, you're both adults. You're going to have to apply as head of household. Ludwig says, I've never asked that question. What question was that? Inkwell says, thank you. It's a difficult question to answer. I believe it will work out. Okay. It's maybe one interview that they won't tell you, sorry, you can't have it because you're white. Stephen Harriselman, yeah. Can you imagine going for the interview? Mr. Harriselman, welcome to your refugee application interview. Have you ever committed any felonies? No? Okay, thank you. We looked at your social media presence. We see here that you're very much against the Democratic Alliance. Cool. No, just kidding. I'm sorry, Mr. Harriselman, but we can't hire you. We have quotas. And you're white, so you can't go to the United States as a refugee. Where would one find a certificate from 40 years? I have no idea, Leslie Ann Moon. If you can't get it, you can't get it. If you don't make an effort, then they're going to look at you not making an effort. I don't know the answer on that one. A.B. Muy Noise says, thank you. You're very welcome. Hubby's parents were Rhodesian. He was born here while they were still permanent residents, so he was registered as a non-citizen. I've tried to get this sorted, but he is a citizen then. He is a citizen, so I don't know that he needs how he's going to need a birth certificate because he can't get it from Rhodesia. There is no Rhodesia, so there are exceptions to every rule. I mean, Erica doesn't have a birth certificate, to my knowledge. She was born in the Congo. So what I'm telling you guys is that these are things you have to discuss at the interview, okay? And they're experts on that. But you're going to need passports to get out of South Africa. South Africans aren't going to let people leave without passports, especially children. All right, Anonymous, what are you doing? My moderators told you to knock it off. Good night, Varoshka. Where would one find... Okay. When a call comes through for the statement of interest, will it be an American or it could be another ethnicity? Should be an American, Sing Fian. As far as I know, it should be an American. But bear in mind that Americans come in all kinds of accents, including Indian accents. You know, we let people work for the State Department. Did you see my story? Did you see my video about that scumbag Arab piece of human feces? Where's he at there? Arslan Akhtar. Did you see this? Check this out. Let me play this for a few moments.
Hello, folks. I've reported on this in the past. You know, it's not just elected officials who use the courts illegitimately to undermine the executive branch of the United States and our national security. It's also civic organizations. And as I reported in the first Trump administration, it's oftentimes bureaucrats in the government themselves. The latest we hear is James O'Keefe is out there once again exposing the frauds. A gentleman named Arslan Akhtar, which translates to lion, Arslan, and Akhtar to star. A star or a good man. Neither a lion nor a good man. But Aslan Akhtar was caught undercover by James O'Keefe's team saying the most vile, racist, bigoted, disgusting, dehumanizing things about virtually every ethnic group on the planet. Living here in America with an American accent, but clearly an Arab based on the way he's behaving and what he said.
But the point of this video is we have all kinds of people who work for the State Department, people who didn't grow up in America as Americans, and they let them work. I don't understand that. In the military, you can't work for the military unless you're a citizen. So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it should be an American accent. You have to pay for lodging. That's what I thought, Elsie. I just don't recall what they said. So that's what my presumption was. Yeah, I don't understand how some people, Home Affairs print immediately. Because you have useless people. Because they're hired for their skin pigmentation, not their qualifications. That's a pretty simple answer there, Samantha. That's easy to understand. Charles says refugee programs to lower 48. I don't believe that's accurate, Charles. When I looked at early on at the reports, the most recent report, which was 2023 or 2024, submitted by the Biden administration and covering the refugee program, there were refugees settled in Alaska. None in Hawaii, 0 in Hawaii. Every state except Hawaii had refugees settle them. So I think you can go to Alaska, but it's very expensive, so it's not common. It might just be that somebody had connections up there, family or a job, and they made an exception. But yes, normally you can expect to go to the lower 48. Okay. System screwed. My wife took 10 days. I'm still waiting. Well, it's because I'm probably going to be a nervous wreck, and I hope they have patience with us. I'm scared because they're important, even more scared not being allowed to go. Lindy, just be yourself. Tell the truth. Relax. It'll be okay. Can individuals under the refugee program join this military? Once you have a green card, it used to be you could just join as a foreign national, but now you have to have a green card apparently if you're a refugee. So once you have a green card, you can apply to join the military, provided you meet the standards of weight, fitness, physical ability, mental aptitude, be a high school graduate, then you can join. But you can only enlist. You can't become an officer. Got a passport in 1980 with my first pay when I started work right after school. Kept it renewed, but didn't have money to get another one when it expired. Thought I would never emigrate, says Karen. Okay. If they let all of us go, they will have no one to blame for everything. Well, that's true, Vernon. They're not going to send you to Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands. That's not going to happen. If you're hoping to go to the Virgin Islands, it's not going to happen. Many immigrants come to Canada, then apply for green cards in the States. They sit here for years living off the Canadians. Yep. The age cutoff for the military is different for every service, and it changes based on need. But usually you can pretty much generally say 34 is the cutoff. That's what the Army's cutoff is, 34. So that's kind of where it sits. Okay. Wow, if there are some people listening right here now that aren't subscribers, how about becoming a subscriber? We can use 3 more subscribers to get us to 103,500. We're 3 away from that. So if you don't mind, just become a subscriber. There's 730 people here right now. What's the... Firefox says, no one's giving me an answer before, so what's so simple? Okay, Firefox, what was your question? Why do people have to argue with each other in the chat? I don't understand that. I don't see Firefox's question. I'm going back a ways. I don't know what Firefox asked. It's not showing up here, so I really can't address it. Stop fighting. It's not helpful, guys. Not helpful. Napoleon heard that there's a couple houses open for refugees in your neighborhood. That's incorrect. Every home in my neighborhood is occupied. Would it be beneficial to do a GD course when we get there? I'm interested to see how dumb I am according to American standards. Well, I don't know why you'd want to do that, Damien. Are you a high school graduate? You have a diploma? You don't need to. The GED is general equivalency degree. It's time and money spent on proving that you're educated enough to graduate high school. I don't see the point in it if you have a diploma. Anything productive a refugee can do before getting a social security number? What do you mean by anything productive? Do you mean work? You can't work legally without a social security number, despite Biden giving millions of people that authority. So, IT certificates translate in the States, so I think I'll find employment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what is the unemployment rate in this country? Please answer that question. What is the unemployment rate? Anybody? Anybody? What is the unemployment rate in America? Stolen Ground documentary is well worth the time. Please do give it a watch. Yeah, Joe did an amazing job. Well, thanks for watching that instead of being here 1440. Terminal cancer and opted not for treatment. Oh my goodness, Elizabeth. Well, it won't count against you. It won't count against you at all, Elizabeth. I'm so sorry to hear about that. That's horrible. No, it won't count against you. 3%, 4%. It's 4%. See that? Why is anybody worried about getting a job in America? You just talked to two people who owned a business. They unwound their business, sold it, got rid of it. He has no experience in agriculture. None. Came to America, went online, found an announcement for a job in a state hundreds of miles, nay, thousands of miles away from where he's currently at, as a foreign national with the authority to work here, did a Zoom interview, got hired to work in agriculture, and it's so lucrative and good paying job. His wife also got a job, and they're relocating to the place where he's now going to be a farmer, and he's not a farmer. There are jobs everywhere. Stop losing your minds over this stuff. Yes, I found one state where the unemployment rate was 1.7%. I think it was Iowa. Good Lord. Doesn't matter what your skills are. There are jobs here. I have no idea, Zombie, what an NQF4 is. That's Farsi to me. I don't know the answer. I never heard of it. Unemployment is at 4% because we don't count people no longer for work, and because the economy is growing, and because you can work everywhere you want. As Trump signed an act, according to these laws, different animal species can't be bred with. I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of that, Corona Rizla. You got to land in the USA before jobs. Exactly, Zoomism. You got to land in the USA before job is a concern. It's like, well, will I get an apartment? What, are you serious? Come on. Come on. Never worked before. Got married at a very young age, but I'm willing to work even if it means cleaning toilets. Well, Darlene, you may not have to clean toilets. There's lots of jobs. Flu is draining. Speaking of flu, there's Dawn. She probably wish she had the jab. South Africans don't understand the concept of jobs being available for everyone. Suffered trauma the whole life. Yeah, exactly, Karen. I don't get the look, I keep turning jobs down. People keep trying to hire me. I already looked at jobs in America. There are too many to mention. Jobs is the last problem you have. Exactly. Getting a job is the last concern you're going to have. Grade 10. Well, that's not high school diploma then, Napoleon. You're not a high school graduate. So, yeah, the GED would be helpful. We've been over the worry about a job conversation. Can we rather discuss groceries? Can we get milk in glass bottles again? It depends on where you're at, Anna Marie Ferry. It depends on where you're at. Some places you can get milk in glass bottles. Some of the higher end supermarkets have them, but usually you get milk in plastic. Yep, or cardboard. What do you spend on fruit? Well, I don't like to buy fruit very often. I'll buy raspberries. Mine aren't flowering. I don't know why my raspberries aren't being made right now, but raspberries is the only fruit I tend to eat for the most part. Okay, well, NQF4, if it's grade 12, then that's high school diploma. You're good. You guys mislead me there. Yeah, Arctic, exactly. You can walk into the post office stoned out of your head and get an $18 an hour job with government benefits and then just kind of show up some of the time. Exactly. Exactly. That's why our postal service sucks. That's why. Exactly. Yeah, get to the USA first, then you'll find work. I have to go, but thank you once again. Well, it's probably time for all of us to leave here shortly. Okay, Colonel, thanks. That's a great idea. I didn't think of that as we're not used to free anything, especially higher education options. What do we say? Okay, you guys stop with the arguments NQF is. Okay. Yannick Arenke, I subscribed, like the live, but I'm going to sleep now. Okay, Yannick, thank you for subscribing. I'm thinking of doing the GED. Is it possible to get work using a report? Well, it depends what the job is. If you have to have a high school diploma, the GE qualifies as a high school diploma. Done and dusted. Problem solved. I think the general thing we're all worried about is just security in our lives. We're so used to fighting so hard. Well, Damian Schultz, if you're just worried about security, then why are all these people asking questions about what apartment they're going to get, whether they're going to have to pay for a hotel to go for the interview? Why can't I have the interview in Durban? How much is this going to cost? I mean, these are all good questions, but they're not questions about worried about security. These people are worried about comfort here. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll answer your questions, but if you're worried about security, there's a number of people like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm getting out of here. It's dangerous. Now, that's the answer you want to hear. What if you only have grade 9, no metric? Well, Brendan, you can apply for a job. Lots of people get hired with jobs. I mean, good Lord. I mean, do a search. Google's your friend. Look for jobs in America. Look for the qualifications. If you're in America and I have a job I want to do, I have no idea what you're saying. See you. Samantha's off to bed. Good night, Samantha. Will refugees be able to vote in American elections? You cannot vote in an election unless you're a citizen. It's fraud, and you will be deported. Well, probably go to jail, not deported. Apologies to add to my previous question. Can a call come through on a weekend? I wouldn't expect a call to come through on a weekend. Do you honestly think that the PRM people are going to get paid overtime to work on a weekend? I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. That's news to me. They're going to call during your business hours, most likely, or early evening on that side. By when can you start working once arriving? Stephanie Burley, if you're a refugee, as I said previously in this broadcast, as soon as you have a Social Security card, which can take 5 days to 2 weeks, and then you can work. The only reason you can't work immediately is because you don't have a Social Security card. If you have a Social Security number and you were in the States previously, like H-2A or something like that, you come here as a refugee, you have Social Security, you can start working day one. Day one. Technically, you could vote in California since they aren't allowed to ask for ID. Well, the question wasn't Wild Mountain, can you vote? The question is when you're allowed to vote. You're not allowed to vote until you're a citizen. Can you vote? Oh, lots of people commit fraud. Good night, Candace. Not being accepted is worrisome, even if we're honest, because they are still searching worst case first. Okay. See, Michael, this is where people just where in the world do you come up with the concept they're searching for the worst? And why would they do that? What's the basis for that? Why would they look for the worst cases? And where do you come to that conclusion? That's a false conclusion to reach. Simply not true. Yeah, Stephanie, that's why this is such a golden ticket. I don't understand. People keep coming here like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't want to get the job. You do realize that in order to immigrate to America, you have to have a legitimate reason or be incredibly wealthy. You have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for lawyers and you pay tens of thousands of dollars for the process altogether, tens of thousands. It takes time. You have to live here for years on end with uncertain status. You have a permanent residency, but you're not a citizen. You pay nothing for your green card. You get assistance. We heard them talk earlier. They get dental care. I spent 36 and a half years in the Army defending this nation. Do you know what dental coverage I have? Nothing. Do you know what I have to spend on dental care in the 5 years since I retired? Over $7,000 on dental care, which shouldn't have cost me a penny. You refugees get free dental care the moment you arrive. I don't get squat. How is that fair? You get free medical care. I have to pay for it. How is that right and fair? It's not. It's not. So I don't understand why people are like, wow. You couldn't possibly be handed a bigger gift than simply being hand carried, led by the hand to the embassy, sat down, served a cappuccino and scones while you answer simple questions. Oh, that's great. Let's take you to the airport and fly you over there. It couldn't get any easier. Arctic doesn't get free football in America. Neither do I, man. Good evening, Byron. Fun to bunk. It's not enrollment in the National Guard. It's enlistment. How does it work? Well, you contact the National Guard. You go to a recruiter. And you see if you're eligible. You do the process. You get a physical. You get a background check. You fill out forms. You take an oath. You go to basic training. Mad Max, we're only 4 months of the refugee program. There's already people over. Okay, back. Excuse me. We're correct that. We're not 4 months in the program. That's what the guy said earlier, Visser, in the previous set. And I said, stop spreading misinformation. That's misinformation. We are not 4 months in the refugee program. We are 6 weeks into the refugee program. 6 weeks. The program started on May 12th. The 59ers are a pilot project. They're not part of the program that people are getting in through now. Okay, let's not say it's 4 months. It has not been 4 months. It's been 4 months since President Trump announced the program, but it has not been 4 months. Let's be clear about that. Let's not contribute to the misinformation. Okay? Oh, my brown brothers from Cape Flats will need it. Need what, Charles? The fact that they give refugees dental care but not a 36 veterans. Yeah, it is. Sight up for Connor is messed up. Yep, I just had I had to pay $236 for one dental appointment. I paid $187 for the other dental appointment. I paid $1,200 for a root canal. I paid $1,200 for another root canal. Yeah, $7,000. I think maybe closer to $6,000 is what I paid last 5 years. I was asking, after I get a job there, I want to do community work. How can I do that? You want to volunteer? Is that what you mean, Eudora? There's lots of ways to volunteer. There's lots of civic organizations. Depends on where you're at. There's some that are just local that aren't elsewhere. There's national organizations. Just depends where you're at. So, I mean, unless I know where you're at, I couldn't possibly help you with that. I mean, you can volunteer for the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Kiwanis, the Lions Club, the environmental groups you can volunteer for, if that's what you're talking about. Mark says, this is very informative. Love the channel. Thank you, Mark. Tell people about it. Let's get the subscriber base going. Vander says, thank you for your truthful answers and guidance. Have a great rest of your stream. Thank you very much, and have a good evening. Okay, Eudora, I hope I answered your question. Is the fear of living in communist country? It is to me, David, but I don't know if that answers their question. Stephanie Burley is laughing about something. We only have 4 months. Okay, it's not 4 months. It's 6 weeks. Surely vets get free medical. Nope. First off, veterans don't get anything free. Retirees get some free things, but veterans, you're a veteran if you serve 3 years honorably and get out. 2 years, you're a veteran. You don't get anything for that. No pension, no medical care. The only way you get something is if you have an injury or a condition created by your service. Then you get that care for that particular item. No, there's nothing free. All those illegals, the Democrats allowed to get free everything. They get free apartments, they get free houses, and I have to pay thousands of dollars of my income for dental care. And I get crappy medical care because I still go to the military clinic instead of using the Veterans Administration. It's not free forever. You're correct about that, Rohan, but it doesn't matter. So you come over here from South Africa with screwed up teeth, needing caps, needing 3 root canals. You get 4 months of free dental care. Unless you're a moron, your first stop after you get Social Security card is the dentist. The dentist. Go get it taken care of. Save yourself thousands of dollars. And then get a job where you get dental care through your insurance. That's how it works, man. If you haven't watched the video with Ernst and Sonia, go watch it. Well, go watch all of them, Jozar. Oh, Anonymous doesn't have any teeth. No. All right. So, Jordan, once you're able to purchase a vehicle, where do you purchase insurance for vehicles? Is it more expensive for people who are now? Yes, that's a good question. Sojourner, and I told a friend of mine who's an applicant for the program about this. I said to him the other day, I said, when you come here, I don't know how it works for you, but insurance companies are going to put you in a high tariff category because you have no record of driving here. So when I got out of the Army in 1987 from Germany, I had paid for car insurance in Germany for my car. And I was put in a high-risk category. So I was under 21, not married, no speeding tickets, stuff like that. But that's a high-risk male. Male, under 21, not married, you're screwed. You are screwed. You get hit with high rates. So I got hit with the highest category. I was paying a fortune for, my car was paid off. I was basically paying a car payment, paying insurance every month. So what I should have done, I didn't know, is get a letter from the provider stating the period I was covered and the policy I had and that it was in good standing. Come to the States and go to an insurance company. I came to the States. I went to State Farm Insurance and got my insurance there because I went to several insurance brokers locally. I tried to take my business to local companies. No, not going to cover you. But it's car insurance. I have to have car insurance in order to have a car. Well, we're not going to cover you. We don't know who you are. What? So you're not going to cover me because I've had accidents or DUIs, just you're not going to cover me because you know who you are. Well, what's the whole point of insurance? So I went to a couple other places. Finally, I went to State Farm, and that's who I got my insurance with, is through State Farm because it's a national network, and I got it. But I paid at a higher category, a riskier group, because I had no record of driving in America. I never had a car at 16, 17, 18, was in the Army, came back in my 20s, and had never driven America. So they put me way up here in this expensive group. So I had to drive for a few years before my rates came down. You're going to be in the same boat. Now, if I'd had that letter from the insurance provider, State Farm said, well, we could have put you in a lower category because you have a driving record of 3 years in Germany, accident-free, speeding ticket-free, you were in good, your policy was in good standing, we could have given you a lower rate. So you're going to find yourself in the same boat. You're going to be paying high insurance premiums initially. Now, the way that you lower them is don't get a speeding ticket, don't get a moving violation, don't get a DUI, and then build a good credit score, and your insurance will come down. But insurance is still expensive. I pay $113 a month for 2 vehicles. So that's $2,400 or $2,300 Rand per month for my insurance. Accident free, no DUIs, no moving violations, no speeding tickets. None of that. And I'm also in an older group, which is supposed to be cheap. That insurance used to cost me $78 a month before Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe Biden, taking it from $78 to $113 because of your stupid inflation policies. Yep. So, yeah, that's a good question about the insurance. You will be in a higher category. So if you have insurance and they will provide a letter stating the things I just said, get it. Now, I can't guarantee that's going to work, but I know that when I came back, insurance company said, do you have a letter from your previous provider? And I didn't. So I was screwed. Most refugees have never had this kind of support, let alone YouTube live daily. Yeah, and at least the crowd here tonight isn't rude, but I get people who attack me because I'm undermining their bogus, fake nonsense, trying to rip people off and lie about people. And what gets me is suckers believe them instead of believe this. Receive calls from numbers, and I pick up the call, drops off. Okay. Calling back won't work, common sense, because it's routed through a number in South Africa. Now, there's a football team known as the 49ers, which is 1849 when the gold rush started in California. So the people who rushed to California for the gold from Sutter's Mill and elsewhere, they're known as the 49ers. And there's a football team named that. A friend that went to school with, who moved in with dental practice. Oh, thank you, William. How can SAFs abuse it if everyone else is properly vetted? What did Cubans say? Russell Holden Smith, thank you for 35 Rand. I hope this effort by the United States is not abused by Savians that want to use it as a shortcut to just getting U.S. to immigrate. Not going to spoil it for anybody. Dental fees must fall. I agree. It's indeed a golden ticket. Just try and immigrate and see how hard it is. Why would you not accept Trump's offer? Exactly, Stefan. Josar. To the current viewers. Oh, yeah, I got that already. Take your hat off repeating all the time. Thank you, Andre Mostart. I'm going to try my best to get some money to get passports and docs, but it's not easy. I've asked for help from my family. They've already helped us to buy some food. Maybe, no, the U.S. government's not going to help you with food, not going to help you with your passport or your documents. They're not going to do that. That's not their purpose. You're going to have to find a way in South Africa to get help. Your teeth are all good, says Amanda. Thanks for telling us. I'm going to let my wife get braces on your dime. Well, you got to get here first. Drunken Yoda's back. How's Georgia, man? Doctors across borders coming back here to provide dental care. And Mission of Mercy does great work here. In America? Ingrid, good night to you. Okay. LDS, thank you, Colonel. Wait patiently for my call. My family are safe. Okay. Who can afford to pay for insurance yearly? It's too expensive. $113 a month, that's $1,300 a year. I don't have $1,300 sitting around. You can pay it yearly. My insurance company is based in Texas, USAA, which is for military. It's a private company. They will let me pay monthly or quarterly or annually. I pay monthly. Yeah, don't jump a stop sign in the U.S. You get a ticket, man. A lot of auto insurance companies here use a credit check now to take note. Yep. Progressive? No, thank you. Progressive. No, that's a leftist organization. I'm not interested. It's right there in the name. The guy that owns it, a rabid leftist, the guy founded it. A month or two to build your credit score? Probably not, Anna Marie. It's going to take 6 months probably. Start getting. I have a friend that got an interview in April, but his partner has a second passport and he cannot get that second passport. Do you think this would affect the refugee application? Yes, because his partner isn't a spouse. His partner is not part of his family, so it's going to affect. Yeah. His partner is not going with him. You can't be a partner and come. You have to be a spouse or offspring. So yeah, it's going to affect them. The passport isn't the issue. The fact that they're not married is the issue. I think South Africans flying the current flag. Screw that. That's nonsense. Can I ask a question differently? Will you know which area you're going to the US before you leave? Yeah, you should know, Stephanie, because you're going to have a ticket that tells you where you're going. So, of course, you're going to know. You're going to know before you get here. Yep. They don't fly you to D.C. and then go, okay, you're going to Arkansas, you're going to Michigan, you're going to Indiana, you're going to Nevada. It's not how it works. The first group, you can't. That's a one-off. So you got to go with reality. Hey, the Ravens are awesome. Chris Harris. Everyone loves the Stormers. It's the most popular team in South Africa. State license, even if you have international license is useless. You don't want an international license. You don't need it. You don't need an international license. Don't waste your money. Get a national driver's license. It's useless. They're only good for a year, and they're only good outside your home country, and they're only good if you have a valid license at home. You can't get a national license unless you have a valid license in South Africa. So don't waste your time. Your South African license will let you drive over here, rent a car, as long as you have a credit card, and you can use that to convert into a proper license on this side, okay? Which banks would be a good start for refugees that does secured credit cards? What do you mean by secure? Well, I don't know what a secured credit card is. That's not a term we have here, Neville Visaki. What do you mean by secured credit card? What does that mean? Credit cards? Every bank has credit cards. And a lot of people that aren't banks have credit cards. You just have to decide which one's for you. My recommendation is go to the library and read Kiplinger's. Kiplinger's financial magazine talks about best investment accounts, best money market accounts, best mutual funds, best savings and loans, best online banks, best credit cards. They have all that stuff. Just go through the issues. Cell phone contract in the States. Depends on where you're at, Mad Max. You can get the dirt cheap ones like Mint Mobile for $30 a month, but you have limited data. You can go with T-Mobile, you can go with Verizon. It just depends. I pay about $100 a month for my mobile service, 2,000 Rand or 1,800 Rand. My wife's maiden name is on her passport. Would that be an issue, or should it get updated? I don't know the answer to question 1440. You can ask them. As long as you got documents that say both, I think you'll be okay. The friend is married to his partner. He can't get the EU passport. Okay, then they're married. Then they're not partners. They're married. Okay? If they're married, that's different. He can't get the EU passport because he needs to speak the language. Well, I don't know what that means, Digu. That doesn't make any sense to me. Is he a South African? Is he a South African that qualifies? Then it doesn't matter. Why does he need a European passport? Why would he have a European passport unless he wants to go to Europe? Sold all vehicles just buy food, but it's okay. I'll stay here and hopefully one day I have money to do this. Well, Bernice, that's pretty sad to hear you say that. You tell them my husband got family there. And are you making a statement or asking me a question? Dia. I have a code 14 truck driver's license. Well, I need to go to trucking school. You'll need to get a CDL. You don't have to go to trucking school to get a commercial driver's license. Just go take the test. Dumb question. Can my children come over if they have underbridge birth certificate or they must have a passport? Answered this question several times previously, Mark. You have to have a passport to get through South African immigration. They don't let you leave the country without a passport. Wi-Fi costs different amounts everywhere. You land U.S., can you buy a SIM card at the airport? Do not buy a SIM card at the airport. Do not buy a SIM card at the airport. Do not buy a SIM card at the airport. Arrive in America, get to your destination, rely on Wi-Fi wherever you go. Starbucks, restaurants, wherever you go. Once you get to where you're going, then go get a phone, okay? Do not get a SIM card at the airport. First off, they're hard to come by. This isn't Europe or Africa. Secured credit card is where you put your money in and use as credit in order to build credit secure. Okay. Thank you. I actually know that term. Thank you, Drunken Yoda, now that you've explained it. But the question was, do we have... I guess you can do that. I don't know. You can't get a green card without a birth certificate. You need a birth certificate. Open sky, says Drunken Yoda. Thank you. Yeah, don't buy anything at the airport. Exactly. That's good advice. Airports are rip-offs in every way. Why? Because they're charged exorbitant fees to have retail space in the airport by the airports. And then they're charged, and if you're in Europe or Africa, they've got VAT too. Plus there's airport taxes, all the other stuff. So nothing in airports ever a bargain. Nothing, including food. All right, folks, that's going to do it. We only got 704 likes out of 4,400 people watching. That's very disappointing. I've killed myself today. Since 8 o'clock I've been broadcasting. That would be 8 hours of broadcasting without a break. Yeah, you can buy digital SIM cards, but you don't be in America for that. You can do that online. You can do that online. Yep. Why would immigration ask to see your cell phone? They have no basis for seeing your cell phone unless they have a criminal expectation. Your cell phone is a private device. You're entitled to privacy. There's no justification in your person or your papers for them to ask for that unless they have a concern about a probable cause. A friend received an initial interview in April and was not contacted back. The worry is his wife has a new passport. Oh, so they're assuming things. Okay, I didn't know that. I don't know the answer to that, Dagu. I can't answer that. A lot of people about 40 people got interviews in April and haven't been called back. Some of them have been called back recently. So I don't know what to tell you. They're making an assumption. I don't know. That could be the reason, but I doubt it. It took us 4 times for you to give me the information I needed to come up with that. Jonathan has a good day. All right. Okay. Nicely done, Colonel. Are you going for a streaming record? No. My longest stream was 13 hours. I'm not going for any record. I'm just trying to provide a service to people, and I'm getting very little reward for it. Everybody's leaving. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like button. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm knackered now, and I need a pose, a little walk, or a nap, one of the two, or both. You're very welcome, guys. Please go back and watch that the Ernst and Sonia interview. That was really epic. I enjoyed that. All right, and I will have Earl Langton on the program probably on Thursday for another refugee interview. So once I've got Earl, that means, let's see, we did Thea's 1, then we did Santana and her mom, that's 3, then we did Jan Amriki's 4, 5, then we did Herman's 6, and then we've done Ernst and Sonia 7, 8. That's 8 of the adult refugees in the first 59. Given that about half were kids, that means about 30 of the refugees, roughly, it might be more or less, roughly say 30 were adults that could be interviewed. Of the 30 now, I've had 8. So at this point, I want to thank all of them because that represents, 8 divided by 30. That means I've had 1/4 of the refugees in the first 59 come on my program and give me interviews. Thank you for your consideration, for your time and your support, and I appreciate that. So let's see if we can't get up a little bit higher. So Charles Kleinhans has offered to come on the program. I'll probably get to Charles at some point down the road. And Earl Langton also offered to come on the program. So Earl will be on this week, and that would get me to 10. So that would be 1/3. All right, guys, you're very welcome. That's it. Where is the Substack? Oh, the Substack. Well, it's Indaba, Africa. Most recent videos aren't on there because I have to update these things periodically. Last time update was June 16th, so it's been about a week. So here you go. That's the Substack right there. Okay. Please become a subscriber. How are we doing as subscribers, by the way? I wonder how we're doing. There's the Substack, okay? All right. So, and don't forget to go watch Joe Emilio's stuff. So my dashboard, let me see. So we now have 1,471 subscribers on my Substack. And I had 2,400 views on my op-ed that I wrote. And I still don't know if the Daily Friend has published it. So let me go Daily Friend. Daily Friend, Chris Wyatt, and see if they've published it. I don't think they have. Nope, they haven't published it, and I haven't heard back from them. It's been a week. That's disappointing. Okay. All right, guys. Cheers. Thanks a lot. I need a break. I hope you guys are doing well. We'll see you tomorrow. All right? Bye-bye. Don't forget that like button.